And on shouting out the Ministry of Wrestling podcast.
The Ministry of Wrestling podcast. Do you know what I think about the Ministry of Wrestling podcast? It's my favorite podcast that I'm yet to listen to. Right now, I will listen to it. That's the deal, right? So right now, if you're looking at my bald head and you're not listening to the Ministry of Wrestling podcast, I'm ashamed of you. I'm disappointed in you. You've made me sad. And the only way you can sort this out is by listening to
the Ministry of Wrestling podcast.
Do it now and subscribe. And do other things with the thing.
All right, thank you. What's up, man?
Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. There's another week of wrestling news, so you know what that means. We're here. It's me, the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
What's up? It's me, Den the Tech, the wrestling fan that doesn't watch wrestling, but reads a lot about it.
And as always, it's Big Tone in the zone.
Okay, guys, right. So, I mean, look, ministry news is something we're looking to bring in and make it a consistent thing, so you're going to get more content from us. This is what we promised you at the beginning of the year. It doesn't matter that it's kicking off in September. But here we go. Last week, Big Tone and I went through a load of different stories. We covered so many angles. We talked TKO. We mentioned Matt Riddle. We mentioned Elias. And we're not saying we called it because we didn't. It was in the air. Do you know what I mean? But my God, the follow-up. So I was looking this week at what is going to be called wrestling news. And the only thing that really came up was, I think there was a potential injury, who I can't even remember now. Oh, yeah. John Moxley getting a move from Ray Phoenix. And wow, we have a new international champion. We will discuss. And then we had Vince McMahon believe that since he left, WWE had plateaued. And then came the news, which will take up the rest of this show. So we'll touch on the three pieces very progressively. But yes, WWE. We thought of Black Friday was coming. It was Wicked Wednesday. My God, how many people have been released since then? Absolute shocker. So those are the three news, guys. We are going to be talking the new AEW International Champion and the injury. Vince McMahon saying WWE is plateaued and the releases. So let's kick off very, very quickly because, yes, the last one's going to be a big topic. Has everybody seen the crowning of the new International Champion?
I did.
I haven't. I'm going to try to check this out because I didn't know that man could get injured.
Do you know what it was? I saw the video and I was like, what happened? And the video I saw, shout out to Suplex from YouTube, SOOPLEX. He was actually live in attendance and I saw the video on a recording. And it all I'm going to say is it reminded me a lot of Owen Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, I saw a man dropped on his neck. And from what I saw from that, I personally believe I'm going to mix that with The Undertaker. Visually, it looked like Owen and Austin, not as deep, but what then happened is a man who had no clue where he was, and that's when they spun it and said, yeah, we're going to crown a new champ. Because apparently, you can see Ray Phoenix has kind of made a kick out, and they tried to do something from what I've seen. I've only seen this video, so I've not seen the whole of Dynamite to know. Moxley couldn't kick out, and out of nowhere, we have a new international champion.
Well, I did see Dynamite. I watched the whole thing live. And I also heard the reports afterwards that Moxley actually was injured going into that match. And basically, he thought he could, work through it. Obviously, he couldn't at some point. So he made the call to switch the title. So, yes, that power driver looked devastating. But at the same time, it was a planned thing. So, yeah.
You gotta love Moxley.
Why did he give out?
You got to love Moxley. He's such a leader. Back when a year ago, when all that madness was happening with Punk, and he was the one that stepped up. And being that he knew his own body that he couldn't handle it, that's really good. But I'm sorry to hear that he got injured. I've got to watch the clip because it's somewhere. But
yeah, no,
sorry to hear
that. Do you know? Here's the funny thing. Am I more Dean Ambrose than John Moxley? Yes, I always have been. But there's another bit of news that actually came up this week was Vince McMahon's last conversation with Jonathan Good, I believe is his name, we'll keep it on that one, is he actually said to him, we took you for granted. Now, the more I've seen what this guy's done for AEW, the more I'm going to have to agree with you, Dad. We talk about locker room leaders in there and who Punk thought he was and what Chris Jericho is and the Elite do what they do. For a guy who I may not have always appreciate that style of wrestling that Mox is into, like CZW and GCW is not my world of wrestling. That's a line I draw. I respect the hell out of this guy. He really steps up for the company, and he's not in it for himself, essentially. You know, here's a man who does, to quote the authority, what's best for business. Like, he really does. So if that is the way it went out, that's interesting. That is very interesting, and you know, speedy recovery, Mox. That's
Wish
the way I
him all
see
the
it.
best, man.
Congratulations to
best.
Ray Phoenix.
Yeah, wow.
That's big. Okay,
I
guys.
couldn't
Well,
believe Moxley got injured. Wow.
Yeah.
Iron
But
Man.
like, I mean, like, something I had to give because again, this guy has literally been carrying the company on his back for a long time now. What I would just say though is like, our loss and his loss is Ray Fuchs' game. So like, hopefully now we'll actually get to see a sort of world class version of Ray Phoenix like we got in AAA and all that because he was their biggest star at a certain time. So hopefully that translates into AEW TV now and we get a decent run from it.
Well, this is the one. This is the one. You know, look, I always say it. I need to get used to saying Jack Perry. Jack Perry was the one who brought me to the party with AEW. He's the one I was like, this is new. This is fresh. However, when I saw what Ray Phoenix could do, I was like, yo, all other levels of lucha is out the window. This guy he defies gravity. So
Yeah.
it's a nice look of a champ. So.
He's superhuman. That's all there is to it.
It's a fact.
Anyway, for a subject coming up later, I wanted to see a match with Ray Phoenix versus someone. He's not on. We talk about it later. I'll get on it.
Cool. So, guys, just on a quick one. I don't even know what the topic is. Do you believe Mox was injured, or are they doing a Vince McMahon and The Undertaker? This was planned on the way out. Either way, comment below, let us know, and congratulations to your new champ and speedy recovery to Jon Moxley. Right, here's the next question. Well, not question, next statement that I just feel needs to be addressed, and it's very much linked into the WWE releases. Just before Wicked Wednesday kicked off, Vince McMahon has come out and said in a public statement, in an interview somewhere, the reason he came back and the reason he sold to Endeavor and TKO was about is because when he stepped down, he felt that the WWE had plateaued. And this was the one thing that was required to bring the company to the next level. I always say this, and I'm going to kick off with this one. I have always admired and respected Vince McMahon because Vince is the one who brought me to the party. Vince has made me a wrestling fan. I'm wrestling because of WWE. It's the one I pay attention to the most. Yes, they're social media. They're a content company. Shout out to Nico on that. Their content is predominant on the socials. That's how I'm keeping intact with wrestling. However, I have never seen, you know, they talked about Ahmed Johnson and the Ultimate Warrior getting a bit blurred between character and reality. Mr. McMahon and Vince McMahon are slowly becoming that as well. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Just accept your retirement. Accept the fact that this company was doing numbers without you. People started talking about how creativity was fresh. I always say it, Big Tone, you're my witness. I said it last week. We were celebrating the entire world. Well, not the entire world. The entire UK was celebrating. We're getting money in the bank in the UK. Followed by Vince McMahon is returning. Right? And everyone's spirit just went... Is there? Maybe I'm doing it with the blinkers and I'm smart Mark at the moment and it's still real to me, goddammit. But am I missing something? Or is this man just the biggest egomaniac walking this planet?
Well, come on. Of course he's the biggest egomaniac. he's a nutbag. I'm sorry. His statement is my mom lived till she's 101. I will live till 120. Like he'd be here for another 70. Man, please. When Vince McMahon left WWE, everyone was shocked and couldn't believe it because everyone thought he was in a diet gorilla position. So when he left, it was like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And at that point, WWE was on a real hard downward spiral. The shows weren't doing good. Everything was doing bad. We saw what what Triple H did at with NXT, and you're like, great. If you can do that at NXT, imagine if he had Raw. So everyone was starting to imagine, when is Triple H going to take over? But he has to finish up all these storylines that Vince had, get rid of these characters that Vince was pushing, the big giant guys and all them stuff like that, and bring in wrestling. It took a long while because he just stayed the course. It wasn't just Triple H; it was all the writers. So it was starting to look promising, and then people like me start making dumb things like, oh, maybe this company, because WWE don't talk to other companies. They start to mention other companies. They start to talk about other wrestlers at other places. Wrestlers are starting to feel more happy backstage. It's going great. And then Vince stepped back in and shattered the majority of people's dream, because for a long while people didn't believe he was really leaving, and everyone kept saying he ain't gone. And when we just start to believe he might actually be gone, guess who's back, brother? He walked back in, and not just back in, with a hell of a deal with the merger with Endeavor, and it's like he wants to rule the world, and we get it. You've got to be cutthroat and be what he is to push the company to where it was. But Jesus Christ, please step back. Please. I know I just want to enjoy wrestling. I like the shows I go to and watch, but when he's involved, like the prediction shows, you just know, pick the blonde, pick the big one. You know, if that person got blue eyes, pick that person. It's, man, I hope he's not really around. I hope he's just saying that because of the merger right now, and then he goes back again and just disappears again for a little bit. Or go get involved in UFC.
Well, I've got a few points to make on this. Firstly, I'll address what he said. Yeah. That just goes to show that you are disconnected with your own company and fans. Because again, if you look at up and down this year, and you had some of the biggest crowd reactions and storyline involving the bloodline, like that we've had in a long time. Yeah. So therefore, how can you say it's plateaued and it's been not as good without you when it's clearly been better? Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is that I don't know if you guys have heard. It turns out that Vince actually might be on his way out. Yeah, because he's got
I've
like
heard this
about
thing, and I'm not. It's a legal thing, isn't it?
no. It's a thing
No. He
where
says someone is
basically
his boss. It's not him. He's
no,
got a boss.
it's even a thing where he's got like about £3 billion pounds worth of shares. Yeah, so he's literally thinking of riding off into the sunset. Like he sort of come back, yeah, because like he was the one who was going to negotiate deals. Like, have you heard about like big changes in WWE? Like, for instance, Spot isn't going to have SmackDown anymore. SmackDown's going to go onto the USA Network. They're still negotiating where Raw and NXT are going to land. Yeah, so it's like Vince come back to do all of these deals, get his stock up, and now he's about to ride off into the sunset. Because even Endeavor, yeah, like voices in Endeavor are like, oh, you know what, Vince being attached to the company might not be too good for the company in the long run because it's a controversial figure, and like, you know, it could bring bad press and everything. Plus, like, every time we see this guy, yeah, like he just continues to look like a fictional work of art. He looks like some doughy version of Gomez Adams right about now. Yeah. And like, I just feel, Vince, look, it's time for you to take your money and ride out into the sunset. Like, you no longer see it as a family business. It no longer really is anymore. So, hey, thanks for your years. Thanks for the tears. And like, best of luck on your future endeavors, Vince.
Yo, he could get future endeavors. He's not the actual boss.
But here's the thing, though. From the position he's got, he is the one overseeing. Like he's got overall say. Like he's above Dana White. He's in a very good position, and I don't know. Well, listen, I don't.
He's
know
in a good position, but he's not the boss.
He's not the boss, and I appreciate that. But you know, as you said, Gomez Adams, right? And I'm gonna again another shout out to Double V on this. Do you remember when Hawkeye came out and you've got the guy who plays the fencing and he's got the
the fencer.
I remember Nick saying, Hawkeye, someone knows they've got the mustache twirling villain, but that guy wasn't the villain. But every time I see Vince with that mustache, I'm like, you are the mustache twirling villain, and you are just living up to this. This is what I'm saying. The guy has just played into the big like. I'm going to quote Leon now. Has anyone stopped to check this guy's mental health? Because I am not sure.
I'm gonna be Dennis and pretend you're Leon. Stop that.
I partially as a joke. I'm not sure if dementia's kicked in on Vince McMahon. Vince, I love you, but I'm gonna quote Big Tone. Ride off, bro. Just ride off. The morale backstage is bad. People are wishing Stephanie was back. My God, I wish Stephanie was back myself. Like, I felt WWE was in such a good position.
Don't I mean, hold your breath on that one. You'd never know. You'd never know on that. Steph could return really, really soon. I'm just saying it right now. So when it happens, I can be like, check the date.
How do it? Look, mark it down. The ministry said it. Den said it. It's there. But how? It's not like it's the old McMahon company, and it's just like, look, Shane came back, but Shane didn't have power in the company. Are Endeavor willing to just be like, hey, yeah, you're our new appointed CEO. Your surname's McMahon. Take it. Like, I don't know.
No. It's a case of it's someone. Stephanie. What Stephanie was really good at. It's the where Shane was the mad guy jumping off high stuff. He wasn't running a business. Stephanie ran a lot of WWE behind the scene. So that's mainly what Stephanie did. She was more backstage and on screen. And they're going to need someone that can do that can help morale, that can work with the stuff. I know they got Triple H with that, but Triple H with Steph, who I need to go is the old regime and just refresh it and start again. Pretend, just do a WWE AEW version.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying. I know what
just
you're saying.
A fresh start. But
you know the one joke while we are talking Shane McMahon. Do you remember in the early 2000s, just before he left? Do you know one of his dreams was him telling Vince, buy the UFC? Funny how a couple of years later, here we are, WWE and UFC are a merger. But
do you know why Vince wouldn't buy the UFC?
He thought it was too violent.
No, you can't bring audience in if you can't control the outcome. And UFC's legit fight. So you can push someone to be a star, and then they get knocked out in 2 seconds. Then you do with the guy that you weren't pushing. So you can't control it. And then that's the key part of it. It wasn't once.
Yeah.
In the 90s, when the UFC was run by the before the Fertittas came in, they were trying to get Vince to get the UFC then. When it became bigger, they tried to get him to buy the UFC. The WWE's always been on the cups with the UFC, but it just never happened because Vince couldn't figure out how you make stars in the UFC. You need a storyline. And the UFC storyline would be like, they'll pick a fighter, watch his development and grow, or her development, watch it grow, watch the fight. Fingers crossed they win, then they can proceed with it. If they lose, they go with you've lost, now watch you come back. You lose again, they just disown you and move on. So you think the WWE roster is big? Look at the UFC roster. That is ginormous.
It is. That I'm aware of. Without even watching, I'm aware of how big it is. This is the thing. Vince can play with fantasy. He can't play with reality. And I say this in the highest respect. I watch the fantasy sport as opposed to the others. And let's be honest, the XFL was also another way of showing that it just doesn't really work out for him. So it's an interesting fact I did not know. Thank you very much, Den. So, guys, are you one of those very few people who's more McMahon than me, and you believe that, yes, WWE had plateaued without Vince McMahon, and he's done the right thing? He futured endeavored it being a family business, and he sold it, and now there's a total knockout, and that's the victory that we needed? Or do you agree? Just comment below. Vince, you don't know what you're doing. Goodbye and good luck. We can't wait to hear from you. Right, now, we move on to the big news that we know everybody's here for. Okay, here we go. As of Wednesday, I believe it was Wednesday, here are a list of WWE superstars released by the WWE. WWE superstars released by the WWE. There we go. Former WWE superstars. This isn't the order in which I saw it, because the first person I first saw was Mustafa Ali. But I'm going to read it in the way that I'm going to give Cultaholic their shout out. These are the guys who have been released in order from Cultaholic. Dolph Ziggler, Elias, Mustafa Ali, Shelton Benjamin, Top Dollar, Riddick Moss, Emma, Aaliyah, Rick Boogs, Quincy Elliott, Bryson Montana, Dana Brooke, Mansoor, aka Mansoor, Mace, Masay, Shanky, Dabakato, aka Baba Tunde, and Commander Aziz, Ulisa Leon, Daniel MacArthur, Kevin Ventura Cortez, Alexis Gray, Brooklyn Bralo, Ikmenjiro Abdul Abdi Fitzgerald, Did not believe that to be the last name to hear. And Matt Riddle as of the 22nd of September. Right. There are some that are shocks, some that I believe we can kind of get at. Dan, I see your hand up there.
Is Elias brother okay? Is he still okay? Elias's brother.
Here's the thing. Elias's goodbye speech, he actually done what Kevin Owens has been begging him to do. He wrote, I've been in WrestleMania moments with The Undertaker and John Cena. I got a chance to play my own brother. In brackets, Zeke. So he's admitted he was Ezekiel.
Oh my God. I didn't know. Shocking. They look so different. One's got a beard and one hasn't. Anyway,
I'm so confused. On 2K23, I was in a tag match with either John Cena or Cody Rhodes, and I took both of them on. They were both in the ring at the same time. How, WWE?
You're just making light of a bad situation or a good situation, depends on the wrestler.
So do you know what? While we're talking Ezekiel, that was one of that video dropped at the same time that this announcement of. So I saw Ali's thing. By the time I'm getting ready to share that, there's a video that's come out, showing a small Instagram clip that shows many names have come out, and literally 15 minutes before our video was going to release, saying what is the future for Elias? Where does Elias walk? Bang! Elias has been released. So I mean, I could say check the video from last week, but like, yeah, Tone, what was your reaction seeing that, considering what we just spoke about?
Honestly, I was just like, damn, you can't make this up, can you really? Yeah, like talked about so many things and so many names, on that first news program. And then it literally comes through like less than a week later. Now, it does make me sad, that like people are going to be without employment and lose their job and all that. Yeah, it's never a nice thing. But as I said on that video, the game is not what it was like even 10 years ago. Yeah, we have so many companies where you can still be on TV. Yeah, the indie scene is buzzing, as well. So, like, you can just go out there and, like, this can actually be the start for you or something really special. I think I seen a tweet from Matt Cardona saying the same, that this could be the end of your career, or it could be the beginning. And if you look at his example, this is a guy that basically was mid card forever in WWE. Yeah, he had a nice little moment at WrestleMania where he won the Intercontinental Championship. But then the next night he lost it to The Miz. So that goes to show how much faith he really had in him. But then like he steps out the company, what does he do? Goes to Impact, comes to digital media champion. He goes to GCW, he becomes their world champion. He goes to NWA, he becomes their world champion. And he's just bouncing around all of these indies, doing big. He even showed up on AEW as well. So some of these names on that list, they are definitely like names that are going to do numbers, like anywhere they go. Some of the more obscure names, like NXT guys, I feel, they may have to sort of start again. But again, if like somebody like on the NWA show are like names you never heard of, hell, what's a Ring of Honor? There's a whole bunch of people you don't know who they are. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you having experience, at the WWE Performance Center, some of you actually been on TV already. Yeah, you'd be a shoo-in for those shows. Yeah, where people are trying to make a name for themselves, bring themselves up. And let's not forget, one of the most hottest stars in the industry, the AEW World Champion, MJF. Yeah, he was in the Performance Center. He got released. Look at him today. He's the world champion in the biggest storyline in wrestling. So don't see this as the end. See it as your beginning. I feel there's definitely some people that are eschewing for places like AEW and Impact. Yeah, like we already talked about Riddle and Elias. But like, man, send Mustafa Ali to the X Division. Send him to the New Japan Super Juniors. Have him win that tournament. Yeah, there's a lot of good matches that we can use in it. Yeah, I feel someone like even Dana Brooke, she has stuff to contribute because people know her. She's been on TV. I would love to see her do something like go to NWA, become their women's champion. Yeah, have a little bit of a shine on her for a while. But like, I don't. It's sad, but I don't think it's the end for a lot of these names. Shelton, go back to Ring of Honor because you're already a legend there. So go there, win their championship.
Who's that?
Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, there we go. There's a shout.
Go find Charlie Huss, mate.
My biggest dream that never happened was Team Angle, as I'll call them all, World's Greatest Tag Team versus American Alpha. I needed to see that match and it never happened. That's the match I wanted. So here we go. I'm going to go with one of the more recent releases for you here, Den. Matt Riddle. Last week, me and Tone literally breezed over it. We were like, he's fine. Big Tone literally said, look, Randy's burnt a lot of bridges. He'll be cool. Don't worry. Just keep your head under the radar for a bit and you'll be all right. Yeah, not so much the case. But you got a bit of a scoop as to what else might be a factor into why we lost Matt Riddle.
Well, Endeavor, which was running UFC, has a president of it. Someone that runs books or helps books and stuff like that. Dana White hates Matt Riddle. I mean, hates that guy. And then when Matt Riddle came to WWE, he dissed him. He still talked about him. And as Matt Riddle, being Matt Riddle, talked about Dana White.
Maybe he did.
They kept butting heads on the internet online. They hate each other online, but they never work with each other, so it's separate. Now the company's won. I think Dana White could sit there and Dana White, I'm not saying it happened, but Dana White could go, I don't like that guy. Get rid of him. And being Vince would go, all right, cool. It's not that he got rid of him because of that. We don't know if he's done anything in the back or anything like that, what happened. But if one of the top brass don't like you, it's going to be really hard to do good in that company. Or knowing Matt, he probably wanted to leave, knowing that he's going to have that guy back with him again, no matter what he's doing. Go somewhere else and do it. He came in, smashed it. He smashed it for being someone that didn't know how to do the wrestling thing. Came in, learned it, did it, became a big star. Now he can go places and do big things. But yeah, UFC. The thing is with the people that they got rid of, like for instance, Dolph Ziggler is one of the wrestlers that could have done UFC, could have been a UFC fighter. Like he's a legit wrestler. He could challenge Brock in wrestling. I know Brock is big, and that's what Brock's got going for him. But Ziggler, Riddle, them lot, I was going to do a video going who could be WWE wrestlers that could have been in UFC. They were on my list, and they're the two that's gone already, which is it is what it is. But one of the benefits from this is not just the fact that, as Big Tone stated, it's not like it was before where you got released and then that's it. You're just in the ether hoping to get back to WWE. You've got other companies you can go to. You've got other things you can do. But imagine paying a ticket for an indie show. Now, remember, they got the 90-day complete clause. They can't go out in any show. They can't do anything, any live TV, but they can still wrestle. They can turn up at an indie show. They get paid for it. You go to an indie show where you pay in America, it'd be like a $20 show, a $50 show. You're sitting in a small place and you hear music play and this WWE superstar walk out. You're like, what the hell is that person doing there? You could get on an indie show, you could end up seeing an AEW wrestler versus WBE wrestler, an ex-WBE wrestler. Yeah. For next to nothing. So the indies right now, pay the people, go to those shows, enjoy them. Enjoy those shows.
It's a fact. It's a fact. And you know, like Big Time mentioned Matt Cardona, but we have to talk about the guy who's currently in WWE and one of their hottest sellers, not LA Knight, who has just tested positive for C19. Apparently, that's why he wasn't on SmackDown. But Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes changed, like, irrelevant of what we talk about, how the NWO changed the game. Cody Rhodes deserves his props for what he showed. What making money outside of a big company can be. We never saw Cody on Impact or what have you, or TNA. That's where a lot of people ran after. This guy went to every indie show, smaller shows. He done What Culture Pro Wrestling. He done anything and anything. Raised the stock for the indies in a way that no one could ever imagine. And what he put down, Matt Cardona picked up, and they've shown it that there's money to be made out there.
Well, Cody did like he went everywhere, including Impact.
Did he
Ironically,
go
he
to
went
Impact?
to Ring of Honor as well. Yeah, and actually become champion there. So like what Cody did, he really did set that bar. Yeah, I did mention Matt Cardona, but you're right, AJ. Cody it should be the blueprint here because this guy
Yeah,
left. He did
yeah.
all of the indie shows. He did. He came to the UK. He was in What Culture Pro Wrestling
What
slash
culture?
Defiant Wrestling. Yeah, and like again, he did his Impact. Did Ring of Honor. Yeah, he did the first ever All In and became NWA World Champion as well. So he did it all. He went to New Japan. He was the US champion there. So like, there's so much you can do. He joined Bullet Club, and that's
He
what got him
made
into
more
WWE in the
money.
first place.
Yeah.
He made more money on the independents during that time he was away on independence than he did when he was in WWE. He was making more money. There's wrestlers are saying they're making more money now on the independents than they did in WWE.
Do
And
you
I know it's
know
not all about money, but
if you look at it again, Cardona could have been Cardona could be AEW right now, but the money he's making outside of the big two shows that you don't need to be part of the big two to make money. Because there's no way I'm sure WWE would take him back right now, but the money's
and
got to be pretty good.
And for real, that's when they're really an independent contractor for real, genuine because now they're in WWE as independent contractors, but they can't wrestle anywhere else. And you have to pay your own medical bill, do everything yourself, but you're independent.
Yeah.
When you're doing the indie, you're truly an independent contractor. You choose, someone goes, we will pay you this much to come wrestle for our show. You could say, nah. And then after a while, you get such big bookings. You're sitting there going, man, I'm booked in the bar. I can fit you in on that day instead. You become in charge of your own destiny and stuff like that. So you got that part. And then some people might fall in love with that and go, forget it. This is my life. I'm going to be independent for the rest of my days until like later, everyone else just end it at one of the big companies. And you're there. Well, I say one of the big companies, WWE. But yeah. And I hope AEW don't just go and sign everyone because
No.
it just becomes a bit too much. And you don't know, you just, for that little while, they're a star, and after a while, they just disappear from the show. Although I would love to see, as I saw in the group, I said it, and I saw it in the group afterwards. I want to see Ziggler versus, what's his name? Will Ospreay. Instantly, you start making matches. I want to see the bestseller versus the murderer because
Dolph has got a lot of dream matches waiting for him. Yeah, like we mentioned some of them. Like I would love to see him go and face Kenny Omega. I would love to see him go and face Okada. I would love to see him face Naito, Ibushi, man. Like there's a lot of people, man. Dolph Ziggler versus Ray Phoenix, man. Dolph Ziggler versus Orange Cassidy. Yeah,
oh
the
my
feud.
god,
Yeah.
Dolph just joining his brother and just doing a tag team thing as well.
That's it.
You know, that's
And
what
I
his
think
brother's
that's actually
posted
something
already.
that they want to do. Is like Dolph joining his brother and those go for the AEW tag team championship. Yeah, and that's a
And
good
his brother posted that before the release.
Just
Before the release. That means
he literally showed him with the TBS and the TNT and the tag, and Dolph with the main title and the other half of the tag titles. Like he's ready.
So stuff like that, like right now, you're just thinking of dream matches. I'm going 90 days from now. We hope to get some dream matches and some surprises.
I don't know who it was who posted it in our WhatsApp group, but they said something, and I was like, I don't know why I didn't think of it, because my first thing was, again, as much as I recognize that there is so much outside of WWE now, my first thing was I was sad because I love Dolph, but I was like, you guys dropped the ball so badly. You don't know what you've done, because you're going to see money. So that kind of cheered me up. But someone posted something in the group. I don't know who it was, but credit to you. Big Toad, I think it was you, that just said, Dolph Ziggler, guns up. Bullet Club Gold. And I was it is such the right fit. It is such the right fit that is just it has to happen. And was it I think Big Toad, I'm not gonna lie, I think you were the gem maker in this one. Did you also say him versus Billy Gunn?
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. Dolph Ziggler, Billy Gunn, like the two like Oh, the
You guys-
excitement of what can happen for Dolph. Like I could talk Dolph Ziggler potential. For
And
days.
I'm a Dolph mark. I'm a mark for
Same.
Dolph Ziggler. I've been for so long, from way
Same.
back when he was like, just his selling ability. When he gets hit, you think they just murdered that guy. He just got terrified. Like, this is real, right? He's really getting hit. He's really getting close. He just got clothesline. He landed on top of his head. He lands like he's a New Japan wrestler.
Yeah.
But he's safe. Wow.
But speaking of New Japan, like I said, it's not just Bullet Club Gold I mentioned. You could also just go to Bullet Club proper, because again, in New Japan right now, they've got their Bullet Club. It's still going and everything, but they don't have the big front man like they have in Jay Wyatt, like they had in AJ Styles, like they had in Kenny Omega. So
Yeah.
you bring in Dolph, he could easily be the new front man of the
Easily.
Bullet Club and go on to have those dream matches that we all talked about. Maybe even become champion. I would love to see Dolph get his flowers and become a major champion of a major company.
Do you know what I love about that more? What I love about that more is not only can he do that and put Bullet Club without putting any colours or name, like not Bullet Club Elite, not Bullet Club Gold, just Bullet Club back on the map, because I think it kind of needs it. What it also does is it opens the door for a forbidden door. So all of these other matches that we're talking about for him in AEW can happen at such a level that would just gas people. Like that's a moneymaker in itself. Like, could you imagine Kenny or Jay White as your AEW champion versus the New Japan wrestler Nick Nenef? He is Nick Nenef. Yeah. Like, it will just be, that is money on the... Dolph Ziggler is literally money on a table. That's all I see with this guy.
See, we talk about Dolph Ziggler
when he has a Spirit Squad member. Like, literally, ever since then, he's just been money on the table.
Yeah, I talk about Dolph Ziggler in Bullet Club. What about Mustafa Ali? He's been begging for his release for how long? He's finally got it.
I know.
This guy is a good wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He just doesn't have a time to shine, and now we're gonna see. But jumping on other stuff before, it's not over. The cuts are not over. You know that.
There'll be more names. There'll be more.
Can I be honest? And I know a lot of people aren't gonna like the sound of this. One who I'm shocked it hasn't been mentioned. Apollo. I think Apollo is very, very much on the line, because apparently a lot of these people were people who were making main event money but weren't on the main event shows. So Apollo was on a SmackDown contract, gone back down to NXT. We'll see what happens there. I'm going to just call a whole group on this. I'm not too sure what's going to happen with the way. Johnny Gargano being at the front line of this. I'm not sure how good this is looking for them. I know they've got a potential storyline out there, but they have not touched the peak that they were looking at, man. So that's another scary one.
Well, you know what? If Gargano goes in, again, he's one person that would definitely land on his feet. He's been everywhere before. And again, Gargano actually really does fit AEW very well. Like their style, their locker room. And like I said, I really do think Tony Khan needs to look at some of these names, look at Ring of Honor, and say, look, we're going to pick about a good 5 or 6 of these names to go there.
Is it me?
I think we just lost the turn there. But that, funny enough,
Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is the best place. I'm thinking. Not AEW, Ring of Honor. Send these people to Ring of Honor because
that's what I was thinking. If Johnny Gargano does get released, and I'm not wishing it on you, Johnny. I love you, Johnny Wrestling. Please understand this. But if it happens, just because of the way creativity is going, that would be a good spot. I think Ring of Honor would be a good shine for him, because I feel like AEW is just a bit too heavy at this current spot.
It's messed up because you shouldn't be hoping that people get released. But because WWE don't play with others, there are people that I would like to see be away from WWE just to see their matches against some people. Like, for instance, Ricochet. I know he's been doing a lot more at entertainment parts, but I want to see him against some. Like, I want to see Ricochet again. I want to see him do some. Once again, I keep saying once again, Will Ospreay.
They had a match. I think Ricochet Ospreay is one of Nick's favorite matches.
Yeah, but I want to see it now. Like, now that they're big stars, they had a match, but they were just like 2 indie wrestlers having a great match. Now they're 2 megastars having a great match. And come on, just there's so many things. Like even let's go with the fact that I'm gonna go. I keep checking the names, but Elias been released. At one point, he was like the biggest thing in WWE. Walk with Elias.
Yeah.
He had musical cues. He was the biggest thing, and then just went. We don't know what to do with you. You're a star, but we don't know what to do with you, and it just changes trajectory, and he just died off.
Do you know this is one of the things that WWE do that I can't ever put my hand on it? You've got this level of gold. Do you remember Rusev? And they had Rusev Day. Like literally, Aiden English just shouted out Rusev Day any day of the week, and the whole crowd going nuts for it. Cesaro and Jack Swagger as the real American, huge. And don't get me wrong, Cesaro and Sheamus became even bigger. The bar was even bigger. I get that.
Yeah.
But there was these moments that just work. And WWE literally drop the ball. They see
because they didn't create it
and drop it. Yeah.
Because they didn't create it and it happened organically. Like everyone talks, everyone goes to love about the Attitude Era. It's not to do with the wrestling. The Attitude Era. There's some people in our group that think the Attitude Era sucks. It's not to do with the for me. It's not to do with the wrestling. It's not to do with the storylines, stuff like that. The storylines are great, what they are, but it's the fact that everything that happened organically. So like Stone Cold becoming a big star because the crowd cheered for him. They went, all right, cool, we're gonna run with you. Right now, you've got what's that guy? LA Knight.
Yeah.
He's a big star. We're looking at it like, oh my God, he's getting cheered. But what have they done with him? They don't run with this because if they don't do it themselves, if it's not, I'm making you a star, they're not running it. So Elias was just really big, and they just left it. Look, go down with Shelton Benjamin, one of your best athletes you ever gonna have in WWE. They had a thing with the MVP and
the Hurt Business. Yeah.
The Hurt Business. It was getting over big, and they went, we created this, but we didn't expect it to be big. Cut it. And then again, why is Shelton Benjamin doing something? He was helping people come, but they're like, no. And then now they're releasing because he's not doing big. What the?
Stop and think, innit? Stop and think what you're doing. Stop and think what you're doing.
It bugs me.
I have to put this out there because one, everyone knows there's a soft spot I have for Tenille Dashwood, aka Emma. Then we've also got the element where there's a short that we've got that Nico put out there where we literally talked about how her and Riddick Moss or Madcap Moss or somebody, you know, were literally just jobbers. Like you brought back Emma to make her a jobber. Like not only did she just come back and do absolutely nothing, I think she had one match since she came back. I could be wrong. Maybe she's done a lot.
She's had a few on TV, but like none of them have been victorious and none of them have been high profile.
But this is the thing. But do you know what made it worse? Do you know what made it worse about her release? I was heartbroken. WWE are bringing Elimination Chamber to Australia. She tweeted a dream come true as she had the poster there. They released her. The poor girl had to post, oops, ignore me. I've just been released.
Messed up.
That was, she I could see huge. You see Dana Brooke, I think Dana Brooke is a future knockout. Tenille Dashwood is going to be huge in AEW because Soraya's there. And the chemistry and friendship that those two have, I see Tenille going straight to the top there.
You saw the message, right? You saw the Twitter conversation.
Something like, oh, hi.
Hey, Soraya. Oh, hi, Soraya. Hey, how you doing? Long time no see. Yeah, see you soon. All right.
Exactly.
Okay, well, like I said, again, Tenille Dashwood is someone that was very much wasted. Her work on Impact, like, speak for herself. She was the head of a faction. She was, like, part of main storylines. She had gold around her waist as well. So hopefully she can go to one of these other shows. If it is AEW, that's great, because I feel they actually need some good hands there. And Tenille Dashwood will be great there. Like, what I would really love to see is Tenille Dashwood come in with the Iconics, as like a whole faction, a new faction for AEW. That'd be perfect.
If WWE had any sense, that's how they would have. That's how you would have opened Elimination Chamber. You would have drove the crowd nuts. Don't get me wrong. I know Australia right now, based off of what I saw at Money in the Bank, are loving Grayson Waller because he was the one who was like, yeah, Mania in Australia. And everyone was like, yeah, get lost. You're a W. You're a W. And he goes, best comeback ever. Trust me, I don't need to. Grayson, you became a star to me with that one reply. But they've now got Elimination Chamber. I know Australia's kissing this man's feet right now. And so rightfully so. The same way we were like, Drew gave us Clash. He gave them the chamber. So yeah. But yeah, the Iconic Centennial would have been awesome for Elimination Chamber. How they dropped that, I don't know.
I have to ask the one question for you, though. How do you feel about WWE taking Mansoor, changing his gimmick, and then releasing him?
I feel that's the biggest disrespect, man. Like, they smashed his character to pieces from this guy that won all the time in Saudi Arabia to like, well, let's just say a bit of a how should we put it? Like political
androgynous character.
Yeah.
That's what Goldust was. He was androgynous. We'll just
what's the word they use? Flamboyant. That's it. To a very flamboyant character, and that basically ruined him in Saudi Arabia, maybe forever.
But this is the follow-up. Yeah, I'll let you finish.
No, but like I do think Mansoor, like hopefully he can do like a lot of the names we're talking about. He could go somewhere else and sort of just repackage himself again. Because again, like let's just go back to our main example, which was Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was Stardust. Yeah. And now look at him. He's the biggest star in the industry. So
but here's the thing, where it was a blessing for Cody to drop Stardust, I believe, and this could be wrong, as we said, we don't even know if Mansoor's allowed back home based on the flamboyance of the character, right? Let's call it. But here's the funny thing about Mansoor, which really bugs me. This was Vince. This is what Vince loved. Apparently, there's two things. Mansoor was not allowed to lose, right? And this is why he could be in a tag team, because Masay can catch the pin. He was not allowed to lose based on the Saudi contract, right? He's not allowed to lose. But they've done this to his character, which doesn't allow him to go back to the same place that doesn't allow him to lose. But bear in mind, he was not at the last, what was that? Crown Jewel. He was not there. We all knew he was not going to be at Crown Jewel. That was a fact. Now, based on that, people will be like, yeah, they made you do it, but you could have said no, bro. So this is what I'm saying. I don't know if the man is allowed back home. Own it. Own this character. Do you know what I would do if I was the Maximum Male Models right now? I would run to Ring of Honor. Who's the guy with the peacock?
Oh, what? Dalton Castle.
I would tag up with Dalton Castle and make it the world's most flamboyant tag team faction you have ever seen. Own it right now, because Vince has literally loved it so much he was playing about and being part of the Maximum Male Models backstage, but you've now gone and sacked both of them. It's fine. Own the characters. Take that somewhere else and just own it with someone else. I would bring that. What's it? Quincy, Sonny Kiss, be as flamboyant as you lot want. Wave the flag. Do it.
So Sonny Kiss is released from AEW.
Yeah, I know. That's the sad bit. I don't know.
But again, like, let me just touch on this quick. I don't think Mansoor, what they showed of him on TV, I don't think he's did anything where he couldn't ever go back to Saudi Arabia. It's just they can't show him. They can't show that particular character on TV.
I'm not here to judge Saudi Arabia. I've enjoyed every Crown Jewel.
No, but I'm saying if he goes back as old school Mansoor,
but what I'm saying
he'd be fine.
What I'm saying is, and I don't want to put judgment on this because I don't want to sound like a racist or anti-X, Y, or Z when I say this. I'm just very aware that there are strict rules in place there. So to us who are quite lean back and be like, oh, that's good for you, bro. Yeah, 2023, do you? I don't believe it exists that way. So where we could be like, it's that, I don't know. Like, let's be honest. As much as you may love any female superstar's attire, it has never been that way at a Crown Jewel show. So your history being you were actually willing to play that to some people is a straight no-go. I could be wrong.
What I'm trying to say is that the character wasn't ever outwardly, of that other persuasion.
It's
It was
enough.
just
It's enough.
hinted. It was a bit camp.
It's enough. It was enough.
Listen, I'm just not sure. Listen, you don't have to be. Look, I feel like we're playing the Jerry Lawler and Goldust game. You know, why don't you let Marlena go with Triple H? After all, I'm a what? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm aware he was not. He wasn't Chuck and Billy, right? And I'm sorry for all the new wrestling fans who don't know where I'm going with this. It wasn't Chuck and Billy,
team.
but it was still within the realm. Do you know what I mean? To me, it's fine. You could come back and be Mansoor tomorrow, but to others, yeah.
But once again, going back to that, you said Chuck and Billy didn't do anything. Just assumption was made. They leave you to figure it out. So yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey, I love that team. I love the gimmick.
Yeah,
it was such a
was
joke.
Hilarious, man.
It was such a joke.
Yeah.
Great team, and then they did
Rico
it
was
again
the perfect mix for it as well. It just
yeah.
wow.
But yeah, with all that though, man. Who do y'all think? I know because it seemed like you're Nostradamus, Big Tone, with the predictions of who you might think might go. Anyone you see? Anything else you see going? Like anyone else?
I mean, I could go down like the roster, and yeah. Who's some of the names we haven't mentioned yet?
Do you know there's one that I forgot, but I just remembered? Bobby Roode.
So,
was he on the list
backstage?
Though?
He's not on the. Oh, sorry. I thought we were saying people who could.
We're talking about probably. Yeah, we're talking about probably get released. Yeah, still can get released because I don't think the cuts are over yet.
Yeah. Let's just stick with the list though. Yeah, of people who've been released because again, I want to like put bad juju on like somebody's name.
Okay, so we've touched on.
Ask the comments to do that. Then ask the comments to do that. So who do you think might be going? All right, cool.
We've done Dolph, we've done Elias, we've done Mustafa Ali. I think X Division is a very good call for Mustafa Ali, if I'm honest. Shelton Benjamin, Ring of Honor. That's not a bad look. Is he top dollar? Now, after he flopped off of that top rope, it's not been looking good for him. I'm surprised the whole of Hit Row's not gone.
There probably will be.
But yeah. Top
hey, let's not put a juju on
no bad juju.
I think
you just said that.
Such on what you won't be.
Top dollar, I probably would have kept as a personality, not as a wrestler, but as a personality. He was doing like WWE Most Wanted stuff like that. He had a good relationship with Triple H. I would have mucked about with that a bit more. There's a slight chance he might try and find Swerve again. Like, why not? Like,
hey, look, that would be a great shoe-in. Yeah, if like you just bring him there, join the mobile affiliates. I mean, and if we can't do that, yeah, then like I think NWA actually would be a good fit because again, Tyrus went there from champion, yeah, and he has that same type of look of the big guy that is quite charismatic as well. So, like I said, it's not the death sentence that we think it is. And to be honest, these guys can all go like to these places and just like start again, completely renew themselves. Because if there's a nobody on the roster that no one's ever heard of, I don't see why you cannot be on that same roster to start again. And you're actually ahead of the nobody because you've been on TV and you actually, you know what production is like. You actually have experience of that. So, you know, I feel the future's bright as long as they work hard and grind.
So that's top dollar. Let's join these next two together because I mean, look, we talked to Neil, but her partner in real life is Riddick Moss. The guy's a big guy. He's I think there's a lot of potential out there for him.
Well, look, you talk about Riddick, innit? Like I know we was like mocking him.
Madcap Moss. Madcap Moss.
Oh, okay, cool.
Emma's boyfriend or whatever. Yeah, but like I know like it was mocking him that time, but again, that was through no fault of his own. And we got to look at it. Paul Heyman looked at him and thought, this guy has main event potential. Yeah, that's Paul Heyman saying that. So, like, look, all he needs to do is go somewhere else and make it work for him. I think a good example is Steve Macklin in Impact Wrestling. Yeah. Okay. He's on NXT as half of a tag team, didn't go anywhere. until becoming this great main eventer on Impact, yeah, that has an old school look, looks like a legit tough guy, yeah. Someone like Mike Cat Moss, yeah, or whatever he's gonna be called. He can go to places like Impact. He can go to New Japan, join the Bullet Club. You can like go to
You just
NWA.
everyone's really club.
Hey,
Just
look,
throw a
man,
t-shirt on. WCW.
Everyone
it.
from here, everyone that got released should all come together and join a group called the Endeavor. Future Endeavors.
That would be
We're the
good,
Future
that would be a
Endeavors.
good angle.
Yeah, the Future Endeavors. And then you got people from AEW, from WWE. If you've been fired, you join that group.
The Outcast. The Raya started it. Just
Outcast.
join the Outcast, people. Okay, Rick Boogs. This is one that I've kind of overshadowed, but I've heard a lot of love for. Rick Boogs, man. That is a shock.
Yo, like I feel they made a massive mistake getting rid of Rick Boogs. Yeah, this guy was strong. He was charismatic. Yes, he did get injured, but so what? Everyone gets injured. Yeah. I feel like one, you could have just paired him back with Nakamura as like his sidekick. That was working well, and even with him taking on the more of an edgy bad guy role, yeah, like that would have worked here with Boogs just teething people and helping Nakamura win his matches. Yeah, I don't see why he didn't do that. If you could have like actually gave the tag team of Elias and Boogs a chance, you could have put Elias with My Cat Moss and have them do something. But like, look, I would say that Boogs is such a character that you can literally stick him anywhere. Yeah. Remember what I was saying about Elias and Jeff Jarrett? Yeah. With the guitars. You could do the same with Boogs. Just have him go there,
It's
join
electric
Jeff
guitar.
Jarrett. Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to kill Jeff. The thing is,
but yeah, Boogs has a lot of talent. He could go a lot.
I don't know much about Boogs. The only thing I knew about Boogs was because of him and Shinsuke, and he would come out and do the Rick, was it Shinsuke? Whatever it is, he did the screaming.
Yeah, that's as much as I know. So I can't.
The thing is, with that, I was pissed at him, so I didn't like him, that character, because I was like, I want to do the and I didn't get a chance to because he's there rocking out on his guitar. When he broke away, that's it. I didn't know anything about him, so he wasn't on any social media things. He wasn't on any internet things. I didn't see anything popped up about him, so I can see why he disappeared from WWE, because he disappeared from WWE.
Rick Boogs, as I said earlier, with the Aiden English and Rusev thing, when you're someone else's hype man and you get removed from that, it doesn't look good for you. So it doesn't shock me, because there wasn't much for him since he returned. You didn't see much of him because there wasn't much of him to see. I'm sure he was just Saturday night main event like most nights, if I'm honest.
But again, like I said, he had the build and charisma. Yeah, like a lot of people can't talk. He could talk. Like, and again, it's not like his wrestling skills was bad. So I just feel, go away, repackage yourself, come back. Because I could easily see you, Boogs, on these YouTube skits like Being the Elite. Because you're a funny guy, you've got charisma, you would be shooing for stuff like that. So, yeah, man.
Do
you know, I've just had this vision of Boogs and Riddle doing something. I don't know why. It just hit me. And who knows? I don't know. I don't know why it came to me.
Hey, man.
I don't know.
One chilled out dude and one really hype dude. Hey, they already had that with Orton and
let's bring back what's that guy? Mojo Rawley and bloody Rick Boogs. The ultra hype bro.
He lived his gimmick. Yeah. He was really hype.
Yeah. I felt sorry for Cardona. I remember one episode of Talking Smack, and he's like, Cardona's like, I'm in bed, and this guy's calling me at 2 a.m, going like, do you want to party? He's like, no, bro, I'm sleeping. Like, relax. He was a different guy.
Yeah, I don't know what drug he was on. Okay. But yeah, it was great. Cocaine.
Quincy Elliott.
I have no.
So this is going to be a lot of the NXT is going to be all you, to be honest.
Well, to be honest, this is the sad reality of it. There's a lot of these guys I'm only going to know by face and not by name. When they was reading off those NXT guys in that list, I couldn't recognize any of them.
From
Big
what I
guy on
know,
a bike.
Quincy Elliott is the slightly flamboyant one that's there.
He wearing a dress.
A big black guy.
Well, he's got some titties.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
big ass titties.
Well, look, man. Like I said, yeah, I'll just blanket this, a blanket statement for all the NXT guys. It's what I've been saying already. Yeah, is again, you are gonna just have to start again. Most of you don't really have a gimmick that is like already over. Most of you don't really have a character.
And
This
he's
poor
crashed
guy.
again.
This poor guy.
So
Every time he's on a key line, bro. The other
Yeah.
one that I thought it's not majorly weird, and especially because WWE have just left India. They got rid of Shanky. I don't know why they didn't pair him with Jinder Mahal and Indus Sher completely. It just
They don't care
it
about
could have been the
they were trying to get the Indian market. They tried really hard. They couldn't get it. I think they just went, screw it.
But I don't know. It's weird because they didn't have it, but it still worked. I don't know. So that faction's there. Maybe the whole faction's gone. Maybe that might be the future of it. But for it to be just Shanky at the moment, yeah.
That's why I was asking about future cuts, because if you're in a team or you got someone with you and you think it's gonna be a big thing, and your teammate's been cut, do they see you future solo, or do you think they're gonna just guys? Yeah, that's enough for you now. That's why I see some future cuts coming. That's my reason for future cuts coming.
You know,
Like
without being rude, there's a few people I think you can't fire someone when they're injured or something, and that could be why Bobby Roode is still there.
Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Phil Brooks, yeah.
They're independent contractors. Stone Cold Steve Austin got fired when he got injured. He was off getting. Usually, you get injured, you go off getting rehabilitation, and during the rehabilitation period, they just say that you're not coming back fast enough, and bye. It's happened quite a lot.
Without, and I'm not crapping on the guy. I'm actually doing it because I'm hoping he could go back to Impact and make a name for himself. But Bobby Roode, I'm genuinely not sure how. And I say this respectfully, how he's still there, but Dolph is gone. You know?
Because Bobby Roode is more of a backstage personality now. He does more production.
That I didn't know. Okay.
So he's a more production person than things. So that's why when the cuts is coming around, you're thinking the production crew's getting cut quite a lot. Maybe he'd be cut on that side of stuff. But so that's what he's doing. I think what's it called again? Who was part of the Alpha Academy? Kurt Angle's son.
Jason Jordan.
He's backstage a lot more because he's been injured. They've got more backstage work. So it's like that type of thing happening.
Okay, that would explain a lot.
Come on.
Yeah. Again, look, we said it. No bad juju. So I can't even say I've watched enough NXT.
I don't believe in any of that, by the way. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in any of that juju thing. I live with a Jew death, but do you live with a? Oh no. Anyway,
I nearly said it myself. I was like, I live with it, and I was like, no. Behave yourself.
They will come for you. Oh, who's they?
Literally.
I'm talking about black
if
people.
I think Mansoor has problems, I will have problems.
I'm great by ain't that brave.
All I'm saying is, if you can't figure it out, just watch any Dave Chappelle video. You'll understand where I'm going.
Don't be. I'm not Kanye. I don't want to get Kanye.
Is that, you know what I mean? We respect all communities on the Ministry of
Respect
Wrestling.
everyone. Come on, man. Mansoor.
And look, again, for all the jokes that we're making, I live with this person, right? So it's not in a negative tone.
No,
it's just banter along everything that we're going on.
100%.
100% banter. Like, I wasn't bantering if I'm not sure if Mansoor can make it back to Saudi Arabia. That's a fact. That's just a judgment. But that's another thing. But okay, I mean, look, essentially, guys, we could go through the list. Really, it's down to you to comment below. Anyone that you think the ministry's sleeping on, right? We have said the future's bright. It's not just a future endeavor anymore. Because Endeavor owns WWE, so we don't talk about future endeavors. We talk, we're talking about people's futures and what companies they're going at. and we lost Big Tone again. So, right, what we're going for
You're trying
now,
to sign out.
just comment below. Not who you want to see sacked and who you want to. Do you know what? Fantasy book as much as you want. Not that you want to see someone get sacked, but who deserves to be where? We said it. Ali deserves to be X Division. Dolph Ziggler deserves to run Japan. Shelton Benjamin, maybe Ring of Honor again. Top Dollar, NWA. You know, we've called certain people in certain places. Tenille Dashwood, AEW. Dana Brooke, TNA, Impact. Where do you see people? Comment below. Be positive. I don't want to just read, WWE are releasing people. That's what they do. We've seen it.
That's
I
my
hate
job.
it. It's disgusting. And Nick, that's not a shot at you. There are many people out there. I'm genuinely saying that. It's not a shot at you. There are many people.
That's my job. I'm the complainer. I'm the moaner. It was better in my days, guy. So don't be like me.
No, but this is it. We all know. It became. I'm actually happy that for the past 2 years it hasn't been release central like it used to be. There was a point where you knew each year WWE are going to do this clean out, and I hate it. I just don't like to. No matter what you can do, the fact that you have lost your job as opposed to saying I'm leaving, I don't like to see it. Right? That's just a personal shout. So where do you see people going? How do you see this going, guys? Let us know. Comment below. Who would you like to see go where? We're going to bring Big Tone in one more time to close this off. That's what we want to know. Who deserves to go where? You know, are they WWE returns? Are they, it happened to Samoa Joe, didn't actually work out the other way. Or are they AEW bound? Or are they Impact Zone bound? Do you see where I'm going? Because right now I'm the one, AJ, signing out.
I'm Dan the Tech, the wrestling fan that doesn't watch wrestling.
Big Toe out the zone.
Okay, that's the one, guys. Please comment, like, subscribe, and as Den always says, tell 5. I'm not going to take it away from you, Den. Go on.
Tell 5 friends about the Ministry of Wrestling. Don't go too much. That's it.
That's the one. All right, guys, we out. See ya.